sits in the back underneath and waits. Brokey not with the trusty op, tries to press this in, figuring it out is not for him! Jabby delivers for heroic!
Counterstrike Global Offensive is a first-person shooter video game that is a part of the Counterstrike series. It was announced to the public on August 12, 2011 and is developed by Valve Corporation and their partner Hidden Path Entertainment. But despite being 11 years old, CSGO is incredibly popular, with an early player count that usually ranges from around 600,000 to 1.3 million players. But it is no surprise that CSGO is so popular, as it offers an array of experiences for its player base. Whether you love playing competitively, just for fun, or maybe you have a gambling addiction.
Oh, Knie! Jag fick den! Jag fick den! Jag fick en Knie! Kan jag bli doppling? Kan jag bli doppling?
But the thing is, why CSGO? A lot of other games offer all those experiences and even more. So how has Counterstrike Global Offensive been able to maintain its popularity for 13 years? CSGO was not the original Counter-Strike game. In fact, it's actually the fourth in the series. The Counter-Strike series originally began as a mod in 1999 for the game Half-Life. The mod was created by these two guys, and it eventually became so popular that Valve picked it up and worked on it with the co-creators to release a standalone version in the early 2000s. This game would set the standard for a Counter-Strike game. It was simple, two teams and they compete to complete an objective, but despite its simplicity, it would become incredibly competitive. In fact, this game even hosted what is now classed as the first CS major with the CPL Winter Tournament, with a prize pool of about $50,000. So the success of this series was evident in the beginning. 3 years later, this game would be completed as version 1.6 would be released to the public. In fact, this is why the original Counter-Strike was called CS 1.6, because the version 1.6 would release the full game. This game would kickstart the series, and next in line was Counter-Strike Condition Zero. But unlike the other Counter-Strike games, Condition Zero would also contain a single-player mission pack, which was a brand new feature for the series. However, outside of these single-player missions, the game was pretty similar to Counter-Strike 1.6. Next up was Counter-Strike Source, which was released just a few months later in 2004. Counter-Strike Source was a remake of the original CS 1.6. The remake would be on Valve's new Source engine. This engine came with better graphics and physics, but one of the best things about CS Source was the amount of competitive play and tournaments it got. This is where I really feel that Counter-Strike started to become the household name for competitive shooters. But despite its success, the game received some criticism by the competitive community, who believed that the game's skill ceiling was slightly lower than that of CS 1.6. This caused a divide in the competitive community and split the player base over the two games. And honestly, this would only get worse when CSGO was released. Released in 2012, Counter-Strike Global Offensive would improve the graphics, physics and gameplay of the Counter-Strike series. But just like its predecessors, CSGO would cause a massive divide in the community. The player base went from being split over 2 games to now over 3 games. But Valve quickly realised that they needed to find a way to bring majority of these players to CSGO. And they had an idea. Team Fortress 2, created by Valve, and it is one of the most popular games of all time. There's many good things about TF2, but there is one thing that I always thought was unique. It had its own in-game economy. Players could buy, trade and sell in-game items. This brought an entirely new dimension to the game, and Valve decided to bring this feature to CSGO. They created the CSGO economy in the hopes that it would bring some of those players from 1.6 and Source to CSGO. So crate by crate, skin by skin and knife by knife, players started to move to CSGO, and it was a success. The idea of adding an in-game economy really boosted the CSGO player base. On top of that, there was more and more content creators opening cases and collecting items on stream or for YouTube videos. This acted as free advertisement for CSGO, luring in a brand new audience.
What are these?
And on top of that, you had the competitive scene. As years went on, each major would have a larger and larger prize pool. All of this combined would make CSGO one of the most popular FPS games of all time. Global Offensive is such a successful game. Every hour, around 1 million people play this game. It has a thriving ecosystem and a massively successful competitive scene. In fact, in 2015, it went on to win the Fans' Choice Award for Esports Game of the Year at the Game Awards. All of the success makes Valve approximately $600 million per year from this one game alone, and it has remained such a huge success for a few reasons. Valve has consistently updated this game ever since it was released. This keeps the game alive and makes sure that it doesn't feel outdated. CSGO appeals to such a large audience. Whether you like gambling, collecting items, playing on niche servers, playing competitively, or just love annoying people, CSGO has that option for you. But I know what you're thinking. A lot of games offer an array of different playstyles, but they don't see half of the success. Yes, but that leads me on to the final point on why CSGO has been so successful for so long. Counterstrike Global Offensive is simple. It's an easy to pick up game. You have 2 teams, a few guns, and 1 objective. Everything in this game is easy to understand. You don't have crazy build mechanics, crazy movements, or an array of cards or abilities to learn. You can pretty much rock up to this game and understand CSGO's core mechanics. Aim and click. And that's why I think CSGO has been so successful for so long. Its simplicity paired with its consistent updates over the year has allowed CSGO to become so successful. Thanks for watching.